sure anybody's question would be why.
People living along West Oregon Street in Evansville have been concerned that all the fires in their neighborhood have been started intentionally.
And after an overnight arrest, those neighbors may have been onto something. Good evening and welcome to 44 News at 10. I'm Chris Saranelli.
And I'm Amanda Decker. Evansville police arrested a man named James Sharp after they say they caught him in the act of trying to set a piece of carpet on fire right next to a home on West Oregon Street.
Just about a year ago, 44 News reporter ChelseaKoerbler spoke with Sharp about what was happening in that neighborhood. She's here now with a look at the charges Sharp is facing and where the investigation goes from here. Chelsea.
Chris, on West Oregon Street, neighbors say they're resting a bit easier tonight. James Sharp is no longer in his home, but in a jail cell at the Vanderburgh County Jail on an arson charge. Neighbors hope this is just the start of a long punishment.
Like, they really barely made it through. If their doors, the firefighters said after they did their investigation that if their doors wouldn't have been shut, that they would have, they would have been gone. They would have been dead.
In February 2016, Brittany Fritz woke up to her West Oregon Street home in flames. Her two young daughters, Maya and Camilla, trapped upstairs. The fire was ruled undetermined, but Fritz believes it was intentionally set.
I believe it was arson.
Over the next few months, I spoke with people living near the 900 block of West Oregon Street, all too afraid to go on camera to talk about the fires breaking out in their neighborhood, except for one man, James Sharp.
We haven't had any issues out here regarding fire in what?
It's been a while now.
It's been about 6-7 months. It's been a while, and for what we heard, they called the culprit that was doing that.
Sharp's name had been brought up as I spoke to other neighbors on West Oregon Street, everyone believing Sharp was the man setting most, if not all, of these fires. Police have been watching Sharp for the last 2 years.
He was on our radar specifically, and we've heard from numerous neighbors over the years that his name would come up on a repeated basis whenever there was a fire.
Many neighbors told me Sharp also seemed to always be the first on the scene of the fires, or the one to call 911 to report them.
It's not uncommon for an arsonist to want to remain in the area to watch what happens.
After years of investigating, early Thursday morning, police say they saw Sharp leave his home and try to set a carpet on fire outside the home Fritz used to live in on Oregon Street. There they were able to arrest him and charge him with arson.
I'm thankful. Really, I am thankful because this could happen to somebody else.
Moving forward with the investigation, police will now look at several of the other fires that have taken place in the last few years around West Oregon Street to see if Sharp could be a suspect in them as well.
We will work with the Evansville Fire Department investigators to try to determine which cases we need to take a serious look at Mr. Sharp and any involvement that he may have had.
Fritz never moved back into her Oregon Street home after the fire and now lives several miles away. After a month and a half of treatment at ChelseaKoerbler Children's Hospital, her daughters are healthy. She now hopes investigators will take another look at the incident at her house and are able to charge Sharp with more than just arson.
Like I said, I think it should be attempted murder. I really do, because, Maya and Camilla barely made it through.
James Sharp pleaded guilty to 2 charges of arson in 1999 and was sentenced to 14 years for that incident. Currently, he remains in the Vanderburgh County Jail without bond. ChelseaKoerbler, 44 News.